right? So when I met my wife, we were long distance, but she had been down in Florida where I lived for the weekend, and we ended up spending a whole weekend together. We really hit it off. We connected. Then she went home to New Jersey the next day, and we talked on the phone that night. We talked every night after that. We texted throughout the day, right? So we were pretty connected from day one. Now, if that is how it goes, you could probably get through the discovery phase in about 6 weeks, which I'd say is about how long it took for me and my wife. If you're less connected than that, right? Let's say you're talking on an irregular basis. Maybe you check in a couple times a week. Maybe you go on 1 date a week or 1 date every other week, right? Maybe you're actively seeing other people, and as you get to know each other, the other people kind of fall away and you grow more and more into a relationship with each other, right? This is another way it could look. So if it looks like that, it's probably not going to happen in 6 weeks. It's probably going to happen in 3 months or even 4 months or 5 months, okay? So it's not, again, this is not a hard timeline, but I want you to start to feel into that it's not going to be like you meet someone and you're suddenly in a relationship with them. Because what the discovery phase is really about, the discovery phase is about the freedom to get to know each other without expectation. One of the biggest ways that you sabotage relationships is by meeting someone and wanting to be in a relationship with them right away, before giving them the opportunity to get to know you and decide for themselves if they want to be in the relationship, right? This is, I think, probably the number one way that people sabotage relationships. And then they go, oh my God, he didn't like me and I'm such a loser and why doesn't he like me? And truth is, he probably liked you just fine. You probably just came on too quickly. You wanted a relationship too fast. He didn't feel like he had enough of an opportunity to get to know you. And he was like, I can't be that serious at this stage, right? So it's very important to mentalize yourself that you're gonna give someone at least 3 months to get to know you. Maybe even 4, maybe even 5. I wouldn't like, if it starts getting into 4, that's like kind of scary territory there. If it starts getting close to 5, I'd say if you're not moving beyond the discovery phase by the fifth month, like, this relationship probably doesn't have much potential. But again, these are general guidelines. So the discovery phase is about the freedom to get to know each other without expectation. It's like, listen, I'm not pushing anything on you. You're not pushing anything on me. I'm not expecting you to want to be with me. I'm just having a good time, spending time with you, sharing some stories with you, you're sharing some stories with me. And yes, during the discovery phase, it is completely appropriate to talk about what you want. So please understand me here. I'm not saying that during the discovery phase, don't even mention a relationship, pretend like you're totally cool with something casual. I'm not saying that. It is totally, totally okay to say to someone, I am looking for something long-term. You know, it's totally okay to let someone know the reason I'm talking to you is because I want a long-term relationship and I'm spending time with you right now to see if we have any potential for that. Like, it is okay to communicate those things to someone. I'm not telling you to pretend that you want something you don't want. I'm not telling you to be inauthentic. I'm not telling you to play games. I'm not telling you to do anything weird or crazy like that. It's totally okay to talk about what you want. The difference is you're communicating about what you want, but you're not expecting that person to be the person, right? So you might say, I'm totally looking for a relationship. I'm looking for my life partner. I'm looking for my husband. I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm looking for a long-term commitment. Like, I ultimately want to have that dream, that family, that home, that white picket fence, whatever that is for you, right? Your vision may be different, and that's okay if it's different. But whatever your vision is, you're telling that person what your vision is. And you're also making it clear that you are by no means expecting them to be the answer to that vision. I'm not expecting you to be this for me, but I do want you to know, if this goes beyond a few months, if we're together, you know, beyond the next few months and we keep moving forward beyond that point, like, this is where I'm expecting it to go. But we have this period of a few months to spend some time together, to share some stories, to share some laughs, to share some experiences, to have some fun. And at the end of that, we can both have the absolute freedom to say, listen, this has been great. I'm not feeling what I'm looking for here. And you want to authentically give the person that freedom to make that choice. And you also want to give yourself the freedom to make that choice. Meaning, during the discovery phase, not only are you letting them know it's totally okay for them to leave, but you're also reserving your own right to leave. And I don't just mean with them, like, by the way, I'm going to leave if I want to. I don't mean it like that. I mean within your own heart, within your own mind, right? You're not getting too attached during the discovery phase. You are keeping yourself in a place during the discovery phase where you could let go if you need to, where you could release this relationship if you need to, right? It is so important that you don't become over attached or like, it's so important that you don't start future tripping and just, imagining your whole life together when you've only been seeing each other for a few dates or a few weeks, right? So that's the discovery phase. Now, there are a few criteria that I would say graduate you from the discovery phase. And basically, the discovery phase ends when these few criteria are established. So what are they? The first one is establishing that you both want something long-term, right? You both want something long-term. So and this could honestly be established on the first date or the first couple of dates or your first few phone calls, right? You can establish that we both want something long-term. We're not casually dating. We're not just hooking up. We're not just fooling around. We're not just seeing where it goes, right? We both do want a real long-term relationship ultimately. Again, I'm not saying that I'm expecting you to be the answer for that. We're just communicating that, hey, we're both on the same page that ultimately in the long run, we would like to find our long-term special someone, soulmate, whatever you want to call that. Okay? That's the first criteria. The second criteria in the discovery phase is that you communicate the authentic, how do I want to say this? It's not that I'm expecting you to be that person, but it's that we both agree that we see that potential with each other. Okay, so number one is just in general, we want something long-term. Number two is we both authentically see the possibility that you could be that long-term person. That's the second criteria. The third criteria is that we make the decision to try to build that together. And I would say maybe this is a fourth criteria actually, or maybe it just kind of blends in with one of the others. But a part of that is that at that point you become exclusive, right? And I would say exclusivity, it's one of the signs, one of the clearest signs that you are ready to move on beyond the discovery phase.